pulled over and pulled in like weather guy. And he said, that license plate doesn't look straight. Maybe they just like, well, been on there for 7 years. This point, and he's handing me a screwdriver. And so I'm standing around the side of it, I'm getting away, and they turned into something else. And do you look at me before you look at me and come to our horse?
Like, go get you. That's oh, God, that's awful. Like, are we going to the same place?
Hop in.
We just had a gallon or something. Oh, that was cheap photographer told me not to sell them. Oh, yeah.
You know the Attorney General, Aaron Fry, of course. Well, listen, a few months ago, I stood in the White House, and when confronted by the President of the United States, I told him I'd see him in court. Well, I did see him in court, and we won. I am so pleased to say that Aaron Fry's able representation of the state of Maine has resulted in a binding agreement by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins and all of her staff, whereby they agree to refrain from freezing, terminating, or otherwise interfering with the state of Maine's access to USDA funds allocated to any official or agency or department of the state of Maine based on alleged violations of Title IX. This resulted from a USDA letter on April 2nd from Brooke Rollins, which I have described earlier to people as something that smacked of a ransom note written by a school child. A demand letter that was outrageous at the time, remains outrageous today. We immediately filed suit 5 days later, filing a complaint and a motion for temporary restraining order. And 4 days after that, federal judge John Woodcock, a seasoned, decades-long serving federal judge in Maine, issued a 70-page opinion, a decision that issued a temporary restraining order against the United States Department of Agriculture based on his conclusion that the state's likelihood of success is extraordinarily high, one of his many conclusions in that decision. We were very pleased to receive that decision. And now, on May 2nd, just 1 month after the USDA's letter, the USDA has backed down and they have agreed to stop freezing funds for the school lunch program that feeds 172,000 kids in Maine. Freezing without due process. Freezing without any rationale. Freezing without any congressional basis. And so I want to thank the Attorney General for achieving this result. And it's good to feel a victory like this. We took him to court, and we won. So, you want to say anything? Agreed.
Agreed. Just briefly, abruptly, harmfully, and in direct conflict with the law, the USDA froze funds that were intended to feed and nourish, as the governor pointed out, approximately 172,000 school children here in Maine. There was no investigation, there was no notice, there was no lawful process that was followed. So Maine had no choice but to bring suit to confront this unlawful action by the USDA. And as the governor just pointed out, we did see the Trump administration in court on this one, and we won. This lawsuit was necessary to protect Maine's access to congressionally directed funds. This lawsuit was necessary to hold the USDA accountable under the law. And this settlement confirms that the funding at issue is not to be frozen unless the USDA actually follows the law. To be clear, the USDA cannot unlawfully withhold funds. This settlement makes that crystal clear. So I do want to express my appreciation to my team at the office, to Governor Mills, to the Maine Department of Education for helping make this win possible.
Yesterday was Law Day, as initially enunciated by President Eisenhower, I think back in 1958. I'm happy to celebrate Law Day today, yesterday, today, and every day, because we believe in the rule of law, and we will uphold it and stand for it at every turn. Thank you. Any questions?
This obviously feels like a win for the state of Maine today, and I know this kind of began when you told the president that you'd see him in court. When you were in that interaction with him, were you confident that the state would come out on top in this lawsuit, or any lawsuit like this?
What I know as a lawyer for many decades now, and as a citizen of this state, a citizen of this country, that the Constitution in no way gives the President of the United States the ability to invent law, change law, create law by tweet or Instagram or executive order or press release. It just doesn't do that. It's the Congress that makes the law. not the president. The executive branch is here, the congressional branch is here, legislative branch, and the judicial branch. And I'm confident we'll win. When we see him in court, we will win, time and time again. Other states are winning as well. We just read the paper every day. Other people are winning because of this administration and its attempt to impose its will without lawful authority, without lawful process.
This is obviously the first of two lawsuits, or there's a much smaller one, the Department of Justice lawsuit. The Department of Justice lawsuit is still out there. Is there anything that you can read, can or should read into this settlement that could be applied to the DOJ lawsuit, or are they completely?
Well, I can't speak for the federal government. No, I think there's a separate complaint they filed a few weeks ago, 31-page complaint, that cites no authority, no case, no law. We'll see them in court on that one as well.
Do you expect the Trump administration will now stop making these kinds of threats?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Do you expect the Trump administration will now stop making these kinds of threats?
I can't speak for, I can't tell what he's going to do from one day to the next. Can you? Thank you. Anything else?
Mr. Attorney General, do you have any, can you give any more explanation as to kind of how the settlement came about? Is it just because the judge's ruling making it clear that they were likely going to lose, or was there kind of conversations between your side and their side about how the settlement was reached?
Well, I'm not going to get into those specific settlement negotiations. What I will offer is that, as the governor pointed out, there was a 70-page decision that made it crystal clear what path this case might take if it was fought. And when you follow no lawful process, when you provide no indication whatsoever except a note that was written, as the governor indicated, to just try to bully the state into compliance, there really wasn't much of a legal argument, including no citations at all to any law that the USDA could stand on. So, what I'd offer is that, given what the court already said, given that no law was followed here at all, and that this smacked of an unlawful process, it made for a very quick resolution confirming that money should continue to flow into Maine.
These bullying tactics, we will not tolerate them. Nobody in this country should tolerate them. You don't appease bullies. They never stop.
Governor Mills, do you see the suit with the DOJ as more of a complicated legal question because it kind of is talking about different interpretations of the same law, whereas this, might to some be more cut and dry?
I'm not going to characterize the other lawsuit. Again, they filed a lawsuit, a 30-page complaint. When I file a complaint, and I've done that work on a number of occasions, I cite a law. I cite a case that supports my claims. That wasn't done in that case, so I think that speaks for itself.
This all comes down to Title IX, as you know, and there are a number of bills being proposed by Republicans in the legislature this session that have been scheduled for next week in the Judiciary Committee. I know you've called the transgender issue a worthy debate. If any of those bills cross your desk, would you sign them?
I'm not going to speculate as to any particular bills. I think there are probably 8 or 10 of them. Yeah.
One
Thank you.
more? Or none?
He's thinking.
Have you had discussions with lawmakers with the NPA about changing those transgender student athlete policies?
No. No, I haven't.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. This is Rick Rollins' letter. You can have it.
Have a picture of the child. This is blurry, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I
No,
was
you're
like right
good.
in your way. Sorry. Didn't mean to sneak up on you like that.